Hello, everyone. It is Jennifer Nicole Lee, and welcome to this amazing podcast that has the potential to save lives. Yes, I'm beyond thrilled to be having an amazing, just powerhouse of strength, hope, faith on my podcast. And we're having Kyle David join us here in a minute. I am so thrilled. I am so honored to have him just grace my podcast with his strength, tenacity, and everything he's going to share with us on this podcast. I'll be bringing him on around 9 minutes. So let me go ahead and share out this video with all of you and make sure you share. Sharing is caring. If you can do one thing, share out this video because we need to create more awareness around colon cancer and prevention. Prevention. I want you to fight for your right to be healthy and fit. Fight for your colonoscopies. Fight for your checkups and everything you need to do to make sure that you are taking care of your health. I had met Kyle by a serendipitous moment, and I'm so thrilled to tell you about it when he comes on. But it's so important that we take the time just to pause and to make sure we do all in our power to take care of our health. Kyle is a very highly ranked um, leader in the luxury designer retail conglomerate space. And he also is truly someone you need to listen to on this podcast. So I'm sharing out the link, and I could not be more excited to have him on my podcast and share his story with all of us. Okay, the link is out. I'll be bringing him on at the top of the hour. But if you have questions about colon cancer, if you have questions about how old you should be to start having exams, or any telltale signs that warning signs that you should really look into, maybe cramping or irritable bowel syndrome or diarrhea or constipation or dark stool. I'm sorry, I'm going there because I want to make sure you are equipped, that you leave this podcast feeling informed and that you are understanding Kyle David's journey from diagnosis to determination, from pain to passion, and how he has truly started taking what has happened to him, complete and full ownership, and helping other people wake up and get the screenings that they need. Okay. So I could not be more excited to share this podcast with everyone. And if you have any questions, please also feel free to reach out to Kyle. The real cool thing is that he has said that many people have just given him gifts, advice, phone calls, letters, cards, and have gone out of their way to let him know that he's being listened to, that his story does matter, that they know someone else fighting colon cancer, that they know of someone else that is also needing to hear his story. The statistics are startling. The statistics of colon cancer are startling. And sadly enough, we're getting younger and younger when people are being diagnosed with it. So I want you to share this out with everyone. And I could not be more excited to have him on my show. And I'll be bringing him on in about 2 minutes. I see him there in the green room, and he is there. So, about 2 more minutes. Just want to make sure we get this show populated and we get everyone tuned in to see his amazing podcast, because it's angels like him that make what we do so powerful as content creators, as podcasters. And I cannot wait to have him share his story with each and every one of us. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Um, this has been also a long time coming. I met Kyle December the 16th at Ball Harbor. I was doing a book signing. We had this incredible, crazy storm just come rush through out of nowhere. Kid you not, it was like a a hurricane. It was like a hurricane. And to know that, I really believe it was an act of divine intervention, because when I saw him looking at me like, this lady's crazy, because I was having fun. I was there at the book signing. He's like, I want to talk to her. He felt this instinctual, just kind of pull towards my energy. And lo and behold, here we are. Uh, January to December to January, January, February, March. 3 months later, here we are with this story. He was diagnosed shortly after we met, and I'll let him tell his story. So another minute, and we'll be bringing on Kyle David. And I could not be more excited about him gracing us with his story. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, give me 10 seconds. I'm going to grab a quick water to wet my whistle, and then we will get the show on the road. Stay tuned. Okay, we're going to get this podcast started now. I could not be more excited. Mm. Get ready to be informed, educated, and inspired by the one and only Kyle David, who is my near and dear friend, who I cannot wait to have this conversation with, and just to motivate each and every one of you to advocate for your health. If something doesn't feel right, ask questions, get it checked out. Thank you for being here. Hi there, Yaya. Hi, Christy. Please feel free to share out this video. And now, without further ado, I'll be bringing him on right now. And I'm so thrilled to share this powerful podcast with you all, to let you know that you're not alone. Kyle is here fighting, and he's going to win this battle and kick cancer's butt and ring the bell on April 22nd. So I could not be more excited about having him on this powerful podcast, because we are definitely stronger together. And there's nothing we can't do through prayer, through believing, through having faith and never giving up, because we have angels on our side. All right, let's do this. Bringing on Kyle David now. And I'm so thrilled to have him here. Let's do this. So now, when Kyle comes on, you're going to witness a warrior, a fighter, someone who is so strong and so just powerful in his own right. And
Hi.
hello there. How are you?
Hi.
Nice to see you. Yeah, please start your video. We want to see you in all of your handsome glory.
Ah,
There you are.
there I am. Hi.
Kyle, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to connect with you. Everyone
This
here
is
on the
great.
podcast is so thrilled to hear your story. You know what? I could brag on you for the whole hour, but I'm going to put the ball in your court. for those that might not know you, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, and then we'll go into your story from diagnosis to determination.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It means the world to me, and you know this. I've personally sent messages out to you just saying that because of you, I'm able to get more of my message out, and I couldn't be more grateful. I do want to start by saying I'm not a doctor, and this is not medical advice. I don't want anybody watching to think Jennifer or I are giving out any medical advice, but this is my personal journey, and this is something that is affecting so many people, and I cannot be more in line with what Jennifer said about if you have a symptom, if something is going on. And I'm going to leave it there because I know we have a lot to get at, but a little bit about me. Jennifer was not lying. I do work for the top retailer in the world, as you can tell by my brooch. I actually decided to wear my uniform today because I haven't worn it in 3 months, and it felt great to put on the manager's coat for Chanel.
Yes.
I am one of the product managers for Chanel Bell Harbor, where I met Jennifer during that crazy pop-up hurricane. We'll call it a pop-up hurricane because that's exactly what it was.
Yep.
And been married for 6 years, in the process of adopting a 15-year-old boy. And we're going through that process as well. Thank God the diagnosis of cancer hasn't stopped the adoption process or being able to get custody of the child. So that's actually right before I went live, I was texting back and forth with the state representative to make sure that I'm in great health, and I do want to go forward with it. So in another crazy episode of my life, we're moving today, Jennifer. I have movers in my house right now.
Nothing stops. Nothing stops your success. Your show goes on. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I also wanted to give a little light of this is what cancer looks like. This is me, 100% in treatment. I have a laundry list of different medications that I'm taking. That's my chemo, and we'll get to it in a minute. But this is what it looks like. This is a good day. I've had 2 great days. And today and yesterday, the rest of the week was dicey. Body pains, extreme nausea, and things like that. But again, we can go into all of that as we proceed.
Yes. Well, I just want to say welcome to the platform where you are so empowering to others. By the way, when I started sharing the news about this podcast, we had this influx of all of these people that RSVP'd. A lot of them here now. I want to say hi to Christy Fickle, Anthony R., Trey Bundrant, Yaya Ballerin is here also. So we're going to get your story out to so many, because I know us both being very faith-based, spiritual individuals, we know that from this mess, you have a message. From this test, you're going to have your testimony. You're going to create awareness around colon cancer prevention. It is so silent that when we were talking before in other conversations and with your husband, and he had mentioned, shout out to Eddie, an amazing partner to support you on this journey. And it's just so powerful that you have all this support. You have all these people running to you, giving you gifts out of the blue, giving you a shoulder to lean on. Like, the support has been phenomenal. So to everyone that's in Kyle's corner, I give you a big round of applause. It's angels like you that make these battles just worth fighting, because you have all these people that love you, and love is so powerful, and love is a drug. I know we're doing chemo. I know we're going to ring the bell on April 22nd, but when you got love in your heart and you're moving, you've been, happily married for many years, you're now adopting. I just love how you've not let this stop you. Okay. So congratulations. And what are your intentions for this podcast? If you could sum it up at the end of this podcast that you've been able to achieve, and letting my platform be the vehicle to touch as many lives as possible, what would those intentions be?
Awareness. One word, awareness. I don't think that there needs to be any scientific research. There doesn't need to have a big in-depth conversation. What I need people to understand is awareness. I was aware of my symptoms, Jennifer. I really,
Okay.
I think that you and I discussed privately some of the
Yes.
things, and
Yeah, take us
um,
back, take us
yeah,
back where you started seeing some signs. You were like, this is something not right. Love to know how it actually led up to the diagnosis, when you were
absolutely.
diagnosed. So give us the whole story. A lot of the people in your love circle haven't really heard all the details. So this would be a great opportunity to share. Now pull the curtain back and share exactly what did go down.
Absolutely. And we're going to be pulling the curtain back. So we're going to be using some words that
Yeah.
aren't that fun,
Yes.
and some
Sure.
language that not everybody likes to hear, but it needs to be
Yes.
discussed.
Yes, we
Um,
do.
so about a year ago, Jennifer, I started with a little bit of blood in my stool, just a
Okay.
tiny bit, just
Right.
enough to like, So it was a conversation that I had with my general practice doctor, who she was very proactive.
Good.
Let me just tell you that. And so sorry, I had a call come in.
Okay.
And I had my general practice doctor tell me that it's probably just a small hemorrhoid. Here's some medication. Um, Along with that, I noticed a little bit of constipation starting. This is a year ago. And these are things you keep private. You don't talk to your partner about, you don't talk to your parents about, you don't talk to your best
Right.
friends about, like, oh, I have a little hemorrhoid, I have a little constipation.
Yes.
I'm now 44. Like, maybe
We're
this
gonna
is what it is.
normalize this. We're
Right.
gonna
This
like
is
this is
like
not taboo,
making sure
everyone.
I'm drinking the water,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I went through that. I got the hemorrhoid cream. I got the medication that the doctor gave me as a fluid that I had to drink to kind of help me not be constipated. That didn't seem to be the problem. Um, I started intaking a lot more water. Wasn't the problem. Um, Went to Europe so we went to Europe in November. So this little symptom had been going on for almost 6 months, and
Okay.
off and on. And I remember one day finally telling my husband, um,
Yes.
Eddie, I feel like, and again, I'm going to be graphic, right? We need to be graphic.
We need to. Yes.
Yeah. I was
Go
using
right
the
ahead.
restroom, and what appeared to be, I joked with my husband. I said, I think I just had my period.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had never seen so much blood come out of me in that region before,
Yes.
and it was able to be cleaned up very easily. Sorry to be graphic, but
Right
that was
ahead.
my first like, oh my
Yes.
God, there's
Yeah.
something going on. But guess what? We're leaving for Europe in 2 days. What do I do? Right?
Yes.
Go to
Yes.
Europe. Symptoms get worse in Europe, but then again, I'm like, it's traveling. I was stressed out. We were trying to plan this big trip. It was a trip of a lifetime. Spent 15 days in Europe,
Right.
in multiple countries. So you get the food. Of course, we were drinking some alcohol. Like the constipation happens with that, right?
Right.
Eating everything and anything that you could imagine. I'm on a European vacation. And I remember Eddie asking me, are you okay with that situation? And I was like, it hasn't happened again.
Right.
About halfway through the cruise that we were on, it happened again. And
Okay.
I didn't say anything at this point. I just was like, okay, that's weird. I definitely have a big hemorrhoid. I'm telling myself I have a massive hemorrhoid that has to be inside. I'm going to go home, speak to my GP. Got home, spoke to my GP. She wrote me a referral for a colonoscopy.
Okay.
I sat on it for a little bit. It's November. It's about to be Thanksgiving. We're going into the holidays. Eddie and I took a
Right.
trip because we live in Miami. We wanted to see the cold and the snow. So we flew up to like this winter paradise in Wisconsin, I think it was, or Minnesota, one of the two. And one of those Midwest states.
Yeah.
And, I got back and I was like, oddly enough, Eddie had some stomach issues, so he already had a gastro doctor. And I was like, hey, next time you go for your checkup, can you just get me an appointment? We have the same insurance. You're my husband. You can speak on my behalf. Got the appointment. December 27th was my colonoscopy, 2 days after Christmas. I'm also, remember, retail manager, so it's crazy now. I
Yes.
had already taken 15 days off before the holiday season. So my team, my store needed me. I needed to be there readily available. So I was like, oh gosh, I have to get this. I almost canceled it because it's the 27th, then it's Black Friday. It's Chanel. It's crazy. Lines are through the door. Everybody wants to get a bag, whatever.
Right.
get the colonoscopy and I get taken. I come out and I'm freezing cold. I'll never forget how cold I was. And they take me into this mixed used office with a lot of paperwork, very unprofessional, honestly. Like, just, I mean, there's medical paperwork. If I was that person, I could have dug through it and seen other people's medical records. So I'm sitting there and a nurse comes in and she was like, has the doctor seen you yet? And I said, no. I'm assuming she's a nurse, by the way. She was like, well, the doctor that did your colonoscopy would like to talk to you. At the same time, I'm texting my husband. I'm like, after your colonoscopy, did they take you into this room? He said, no. At that point, I knew. The doctor came in, he leaned up against the wall, he crossed his arms, and he said, I found something in your scan. And I said, what is it? And he was like, it's probably cancer. And I was like, okay. And I took it so easy with grace. I took it. Wow. I just wanted to get out of there though. Like I was freezing cold and I wanted to get out. I wanted to see Eddie. I wanted to get in my car. I wanted to have a private moment. I know this doctor for 5 minutes. He didn't even know my name except for on a chart. Like it's not a general practice doctor, somebody that I have a relationship with. Got in the car and I had a bunch of paperwork and I'm looking at this disease in a picture that's inside of my body. And I'm like, it's disgusting. It is alive. It is red and it is scary looking and it's inside of my body. And this is somebody that takes supplements. I mean, Jennifer, you and I, before I found out my diagnosis, I'm like, what are you taking? I need to know everything. Like, and we talked about how we're kind of snobs about our healthcare when it comes to supplements and proteins, and we really bonded over
young that. And you're young. It's not like you're extra, old where you're like, oh, I need to start screening for the cancer and these things. That's why we need to really demystify this. And I love how you said, you know what? I just did it with grace and I did it with strength. But then I had the reality of, oh my goodness, I'm going to fight this. And I know you're going to come out on the other side, ringing the bell April 22nd. Amen. And the telltale signs. And so where did you go from there?
I immediately got proactive, and this is what you have to do. And long story short, I decided not to use any of their references, any of their medical advice, and I went and I seeked out my own. I'm lucky enough to know quite a few doctors here in Miami. They linked me up with the University of Miami, which I'm very confident in their healthcare. I have three family members that went through medical school at so it was a no-brainer for me. I got in with Sylvester Cancer Center, and literally, it's still the holidays, right? So like doctors are like saying, hey, I want to see you, but I'm still on a family vacation. As soon as I'm back, I'll clear a schedule for you. Luckily, I had an in. I'm not saying everybody's going to have an in, but I had an in, and through God's grace, I had an in, and I got seen months before I actually would have been seen if I would have stuck with the colonoscopy center. So we had some more tests done, and at about 8 p.m. the night after I had my first round of tests done, I got a phone call from the doctor, and he said, I want to let you know that we found cancer also in your liver.
Oh my goodness.
And that was devastating. I had to walk into my living room and tell Eddie that not only do I have colon cancer, but now I have colon cancer that has spread to my liver, and it didn't just spread a little bit, it spread a lot of it. A third of my liver is consumed by the disease.
Amazing.
Oddly enough, my liver functions are perfect.
Oh, thank God. Another miracle. By the way, you are blowing up the chat box. All of your friends want to say hello, and I want to give them acknowledgement. We got Trey Brundon, Jenny Ann, Sarah Wade, Tronda Graham. Thank you all for being here. Anthony R. Share out this live podcast. Yes, you'll be able to watch the replay. But just to recap, we're seeing that we need to not ignore any early stages. And I'm going to of symptoms. So changes in bowel habits, pain or cramping in the abdomen, bloody stools, which was in your case, unintended weight loss. So that if you have any type of signs and just doesn't feel right, listen to your sixth sense, because we're here to, going back to your intentions for this podcast, create awareness for people to do
So
their colonoscopies. Yes. And by the
this is my,
way, we have a question that came in. How many years
yeah,
young are you?
I just turned 45 in February.
So young, everybody, you have to fight for your screenings. And I think what is the age that they want us to start having
40,
colonoscopies, Kyle? Is it
45,
45?
45.
Yes. Okay.
Now, I will tell you, I have a one-off, and this is my personal advice, has nothing to do with any other influence. If you are having symptoms and you
Yep.
want to be screened, you have to kind of stretch the truth a little bit. And I'm not one for ever lying. I'm not
Right.
one for stretching the truth, but you need to say there's a family history of cancer,
Right.
or
Yeah.
they will push you off.
Yeah. You have to fight. You have to advocate
They
for
will
your
write you off.
wellness.
And again, if you remember from the beginning of this podcast, I said I had symptoms a year ago that I went to my general practice doctor. She did the right thing by telling me you probably have this and you probably have that. Constipation and a hemorrhoid. All the while I was harboring cancer in my body at that point and feeding it, because cancer loves sugar. And, I didn't know that at the time, or I would have cut out sugar. Anyway, you have to advocate for yourself, stretching the truth a little bit about your own healthcare. I don't think that there's a problem there.
Right. This is
And
life or death. So absolutely.
It is a silent killer. I had no symptoms except for that. And those symptoms, Jennifer, I've watched so many things on YouTube where men and women come on and say, I told my doctor a year ago, 3 years ago, that I had a little blood or a little constipation, and they gave me some medicine. And 3 years later, I have stage 4 cancer. Same story I have. And when you say the word stage 4 cancer, it really sends a lot of vibration through your body, because it's a big word. It's just a number. I don't listen to it. I don't care. I haven't even seen it written on a piece of paper yet. I have it. Yeah. I'm not accepting it, but I have it.
Good. Yes. We're not accepting it. Mind over matter, like mental strength. And now you're going through chemo. Kind of walk us through the different stages of chemo. How many times a week? Kind of how it feels. Let us take this journey with you. And everyone, keep Kyle in your prayers, send him positive energy, strength, and obviously, with the support of Eddie and, moving and the adoption, you are just like living your best life, and you will fight colon cancer, and you're going to come out ringing that bell, as I love to say. And, but for everyone out there watching, what are you going through right now with the chemo and the treatments?
Chemo is the worst, guys. That's why you have to be proactive. It is on the best day. Okay. Let me just back up. I get 48 hours of 4 different types of chemo.
Wow.
All these 4.
Whoa.
This one being one of the strongest.
Oh boy.
That a human body can handle. The side effects and the symptoms are, I'll put it to you like this. The doctor said he's going to bring me to my knees, and absolutely did he. And I know that I shared with you privately, Jennifer, that there is a mantra that I can only mumble to myself when I'm so sick. And I say, God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. That's the only thing I can say without puking, honestly. It's just, and I can say it inside of my head. For the first 48 hours, I'll tell you this. When you first start getting chemo, you don't feel anything. The first bag, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. And then the next bag is 2 hours and 45 minutes. And then the 2 bags, I get 2 and 3 together. And then the 4th is when I have what's called a chemo crash or a chemo rush. Different doctors call it different things, where my blood pressure goes through the roof. I crash. A medical team has to come in and not revive me, but just monitor me. This last time, my mother actually got to witness it. I don't know if I was just, because my mom was there, that I was super strong and I didn't let my body go down the rabbit hole that it went down the previous time. But I definitely still had it. You get extremely hot, a hot that you've never felt before. It's like the sun is exploding inside of your body. And you have but your skin's ice cold.
And it's like a flu on 10,000 strength. Hot,
It's
cold, freezing, burning inside,
burning
crashing.
inside, and they have to lay you out flat to be able to regulate your blood pressure.
Oh,
My
God.
blood, like the alarms are going off. Beep, 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 beep. It's scary, but you have to just put things in departments in your brain. Like
Yes.
because I'd already gone through it before, and it
Yes.
always happens. So you have to urinate a lot while you're having chemo.
Okay.
And it
Yes.
always happens after they can unhook the second and third chemo and hook me into the fourth. I end up going to the restroom. Now I know what to pay attention to. Now I'm going
Right.
to take a wheelchair this time instead of falling
Yes.
into the wall and scaring everybody.
Oh my gosh.
And unfortunately, I'm one of the patients that's in the hospital the longest because my chemo is so long. I do see people come and go throughout the day. They come in, get their one chemo or take their chemo pill or their shot, and they get to go home. I'm there for 8 hours, and then I leave with a 48-hour pump that's connected to my chest.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
and I go home and I sleep and I try to stay asleep. Now, I don't eat. That is not recommended. Again, I said I'm not a doctor. This is
Right.
my journey. I have
Right.
decided not to eat for those 3 days because food hurts.
Oh,
Drinking
wow.
water does not, but food hurts. The smell, I have some sort of superhuman ability to smell everything, and I can break down ingredients. So I'm laying there. You're almost wishing you could be in a coma so you don't have to feel any of this. But I'm laying there thinking like, oh my gosh, if my mom brings me a banana bread, I can smell the butter, I can smell the cinnamon, I can smell the egg. And then I start to get nauseous, and then it's lights over.
Oh
Or
my
lights up,
goodness.
I should say.
Yes.
So I have made the conscious decision. I will let people know when I want to eat, but it's only for
Right.
3 days. The body can handle it. It's just like a fast. I'm drinking water. I do
Right.
take a protein shake. That's the only thing I can get down. And
Right.
it's because of you. Your protein shake
Uh-huh.
is the only thing I can drink. And
Oh,
I'm not
thank
just saying it to say it, but it's like, it honestly is the only thing I can take. Then the next symptom, I can't handle cold at
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Nothing cold. My throat, it feels like broken glass if I drink
Oh.
anything cold. But I can't have anything too hot. It kind of sounds like a nursery rhyme, right? I can't have too cold.
Right.
The porridge is too hot.
Right.
You can't find the just right, and you can't get
Right.
comfortable. So it's
Oh.
constantly rolling around. I did buy myself a maternity pillow, so I can kind of like get around me, and I don't move. I don't move. I don't want to move. The
Right.
nausea,
It
the
hurts. It
hiccup,
hurts to move, right?
everything
It's just
hurts.
painful.
Yeah.
I know on our private conversations, you said just the world hurts. Everything just hurts. And
The
I mean,
sheets
I
hurt.
feel it. Being an empath, I'm picking up on those vibes. I'm like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I just want to alleviate some of that pain for you. And you're doing the 4 chemos and you're going through the 3 days of the 72 hours. So a question came in, how many times a week or a month do you do the 4 chemos for like the 8 hours?
Twice a month.
Twice a month. Oh my
So I
goodness.
go back in on Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday.
And then if you want a shocking number, it's $50,000 for the chemo. It's $20,000 for the hospital room. My
my
medical
goodness.
bills are at $630,000 already, and I've been fighting for 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
Thank God for good insurance.
Yes. 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 Everyone out there, check your insurance, get
Yes.
insurance, stay on insurance. Absolutely. And schedule your colonoscopies today. Everyone in the chat box, please put a thumbs up, put anything there. If you've already had a colonoscopy or you're planning to get one and get it in the books, if you're 45 or older, we need to have one now. And I just want to say
Now.
long ago when I was 45, I did my colonoscopy straight away because I've seen, my husband, Eddie, our husband's names are Eddie's, which I love. His, a lot of friends, and have, had situations come up and I said, you know what, it's the first thing I want to do and do it. And people are like, why are you getting that? You have no symptoms. You have no history. I'm like, look, I am doing it because you have to
Doesn't matter.
create your awareness, right?
And blood
Awareness
work
around it.
does not tell you the telltales. I have perfect liver enzyme functions. I have perfect blood work.
Right.
I have literally puzzled doctors saying you have a third of your liver consumed with the disease and you are still giving us every time. I just had blood work 2 days ago.
Thank you, God.
I
Thank you,
have
God.
perfect
Miracles.
enzyme It's right. Everything's right down the middle. There's not a little bit north, a little bit south. Everything's right down the middle. I have, you know, a lot of friends that are in the medical profession, and I send them my blood work, and they're like, "How do you have cancer?" And I'm like,
miracles.
I know.
You have angels.
But that's why awareness with screening. You have to screen. Somebody has to go inside of your body and look at what is going on.
Absolutely.
And it's
you
not,
know what?
Jennifer, it's not bad. It's not bad. You have to fast for a day. You drink this stuff that doesn't taste that great, but whatever. But you don't have to go through all this chemo. You don't have to go through all this. I haven't worked for 3 months. You know, you start to go cuckoo.
Yes, yes.
You know?
Start. Yes, yes. Your story's inspiring so many. I mean, if you have to give a word of advice for someone out there that's also going through chemo, that also has gotten a diagnosis of colon cancer, what would you say to them right now?
Stay strong.
Yes.
You have to be mentally strong. Look, when I'm in the waiting room to go get chemo, it's probably one of the most surreal, eye-opening experiences of your life. You're in a room, a waiting room, like a regular doctor's office, and you just look around and you can see the different levels of cancer, right? You can see the different energy levels, and some people look like they're completely defeated, and they've been fighting for so long that they feel defeated. So there is no right or wrong thing to say. It's just be strong, find the fight, look inside, know that you can get through it. And ultimately it's up to God. If it's not your time, if your time's over on this earth, then that's it. And I hate to be, you have to put it out there like this. Like you have to fight. And if you don't win the fight, you know what the next level is, right? And I have luckily been able to meet some people that throughout this whole process that are fighting, and the doctors have told them, you're in palliative care. When you hear palliative care, that just means there's nothing we can do medically for you. We're just going to keep you comfortable. Guess what? This person's not taking that for an answer. She's on planes. She's flying around, finding different doctors. So you have to advocate for yourself.
Absolutely. Wow. So powerful, powerful. Oh my goodness. You're getting so much love in the chat box. Juliana Scamanci. Thank you. Yes. She says, my bestie, always looking fabulous and representing. So proud of you. The love is just so thick. So many people love you, cheering for you, praying for you, sending you positive energy. What has really shocked you about complete strangers coming out, or those that you've known giving you gifts? I've seen a couple of gifts and heard those stories. How does that make you feel on your fight of kicking cancer's butt, which you will have the victory? You already have it. How does it make you feel?
It's so overwhelming that I don't even, it's like, pinch me. Like, is this happening? I'm receiving these gifts and I'm just like, how do people get my email or my home address? It doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about it, but it's amazing. And they're so thoughtful. I mean, from socks to cancer lip balm to lotions, because your skin starts to separate. So lotion, like really good lotions that do the work. It's been incredible. And I don't know how to pay it back except for to be a voice. Like, that's the only thing I can do. I don't know how to thank people enough for the gifts that Jennifer, I literally received a gift from a person that I met one time, I want to say 2 years ago, at a barbecue, at a friend's mutual barbecue. She found my husband's information on Instagram. She reached out to him. She was on a work event in Colorado, and she sent me things to be able to get through the chemo.
Yes.
I met you one time. I said hi to you at a pool. Like, it really helps me believe in, like, I just wish all humans could be this nice all the time. Is really the message I could get to. Complete strangers helping me out. Great friends helping me out. Best friends helping me out. You helping me out. Like, there's just, like, the human side of this is like, we're here for each other. And if we don't have each other, and Jennifer and I live in a state with hurricanes, so we get it. Like, when you have a bad storm, everybody in the community comes together, right? But it's like, it doesn't have to be bad all the time. And I need to find my thing inside of this, that light that allows me to show people that have given me and showered me with gifts, like how can I take that and shower it back out in a much bigger way? And it's not about how much something costs or the materialism of it all. Like it's not, you know, it's about the fact that somebody took the time to seek out my home address, find information, figure out what my email is, to email me something. And just before our call, I had a friend from college reach out and she was like, "Hey, Boo, I know that you're moving today. What is your home address?" You know, it's just, it doesn't stop. And you know, I can't thank people enough. And, from the bottom of my heart, it's the truth. And so what I'm doing is giving it back in a voice, and just going to keep on saying. And I need to actually start writing down how many people are getting the colonoscopies or getting endoscopies or scans and stuff. I have had more people reach out, and you know, my poor husband, he tells me all the time, he's like, he feels sometimes that he has to be my assistant with this. He's like, my phone has been going off nonstop today. 3 people have scheduled colonoscopies because of you. And I don't even know who these people are. They're business colleagues of him.
Yes, it's amazing. It's just to know that your story's impacted so many, you know, surviving, thriving, you're fighting, and people are reaching out, and you have this new like found power of purpose where I see looking 10 steps ahead after you ring the bell on April 22nd, and it'll be your last chemo, correct? And that you have. Yes, it will. We're going to name it and claim it. I believe in, you know, law of attraction, speaking it into existence, you know, manifesting and positive mindset and prayer, and getting all the angels and God on our side to fight for us, divine intervention. And there's no excuse why we met out of the blue, and how here we are. Your courageous leadership in this, you being a corporate leader with Chanel, the #1 luxury brand. Now you're taking those leadership skills in this situation. You're not hiding, you're not, you know, deflecting. You're going out to, you know, major key media. I know you signed an NDA for another interview, and now you're looking 10 steps ahead. I see a book, I see a speaking tour. Am I right, guys? Everyone listening?
I feel it.
Yes, where you're going to take your story and you're going to give it as the blueprint of hope, faith, never giving up to someone that is about to throw in the towel. And you're going to be that saving grace, that angel that says, no, 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 your time is not over. I kicked Cantor's butt. It was not as easy as I wanted it to be, but I made it, and I'm here, and now you're going to fight. And I want you to fight back and be resilient. What does that word being resilient mean to you?
It's everything. It's how I bounce back. I literally have to pull myself out of bed. And I want to say, I don't discredit anybody on their journey of cancer. Like each chemo, each treatment is different. Breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, all these things, they're all different. We all have our own journey. But to your point, the resilience, it's how you pull yourself out of this. You pick yourself up, you stand taller. You're not afraid. You cannot be afraid of it. It's living inside of you, but you got to kill it. Every day I wake up, and I say my mantra every morning. And it's odd to say, I talk about it all day, but I don't think about it. I don't let it sink in. I haven't had a dark moment where I am like, oh crap, I have stage 4. It doesn't happen. I was at a brunch the other day. Some friends asked me to go that I hadn't seen in a while. And I went, and actually the Juliana that you just mentioned, she was at the brunch, and for whatever reason, she didn't ever hear the word stage 4. And when she heard it, her immediate response is she started crying at the table. Like it was scary. It's a scary, like when you don't hear it and you're looking at somebody in the flesh, and I'm like, I have stage 4 cancer. They're like, oh, it just took all her breath away. And she's like, but you look so good. Yes, I do. But this is how you fight it. You don't hide from it. I don't go and put on a hoodie and stay in a dark room and cry myself. I stand up. I push myself forward. Are there things that I want to do more? Yes. Do I want to start walking on the beach every day? I would love that. I need the vitamin D. But life gets in the way, and you might not feel so good. So maybe walking out on the balcony is all I get. It's small wins. It is what it is. Everybody's going to give you advice. That's why I say this is my journey, and everybody has their own journey. I've never been really good at taking others' advice. I will listen. I'll respect it, but I have to do it for myself. And this is the only way to do it, is to stay positive, and advocate for myself. And just today I had to advocate for myself, where I am unsure why I'm getting more blood work done when I just had blood work done yesterday. And I said, and I made the joke with the doctor's assistant. I said, "What are you guys, Dracula over there?" And he was like, "You have such a great, ideology around all of this." And I'm like, "You have to, you can't just sit there and."
That's right.
Yeah, it's interesting, and curveballs happen, right? Like, I have to be on this new medication. It's called Neulasta. I don't know anything about it. A special pharmacy has to come out to the house with a nurse and administer it. So it's a new thing. I just found out. I finally just got it approved. My copay was $7,800. Out of God's goodwill, I was able to find a program to be able to pay for it, because it's $7,800 copay per month, or per chemo treatment. So that would have been around $15,000 a month that I would have had to put out of pocket just to copay to be able to get it. It's a $30,000 shot.
Incredible.
So
incredible.
It's incredible. And so this shot is going to wake up my bone marrow and producing more white blood count.
White blood cells. Yeah. White blood cells. To boost your immune system. Yes.
Exactly.
God, amazing. We have all of your friends just pouring out support. We also have Altier Custom Rings says, "Hello, Kyle. Love you." And then Trey Abundant says, "Love you, Boo Boo Scoober." And I mean, the love is poured on thick. And I just see that you are on fire with this message. You're not going to let chemo, a bad day, stop you from getting this message out to tell people 45, book your colonoscopy, and really you don't need to have another one for another 10 years. But remember the warning signs. If you have loose stool, if you have constipation, blood in your stool, cramping, abdominal pain, anything that doesn't feel right, make sure you don't walk, but run and get your colonoscopy done and listen
100%.
to your body. Yes. And take care of yourself. Kyle, you are someone that's very into his health. And before I really even knew about your diagnosis, we were talking about supplements and take care of your health. And that's why I love to see you fighting cancer, doing the chemo, bouncing back, being resilient. So fight for your right to be fit. And life, like you said, happens, but you got to be courageous. You got to be resilient. You got to be ready to fight back. But that's every day. Do your workouts, eat healthy, drink your water, positive mindset. That's what I'm picking up from you. It's so important when you're doing chemo. I don't see any pity party. I don't see any negative energy. It's all about, listen, I'm here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to kick cancer's butt, and I'm going to live to tell about it so I can help other people. I can help other people. And that's what I see, this whole shift of energy around you, where you're going to help so many others that find themselves in the same situation, and also prevent, to know that your story, how does it make you feel as an angel on earth, that you are not shrinking or hiding, or like you said, in a dark room wearing a hoodie, but you're out here advocating, telling people, and your husband's phone is blowing up, people that love you are getting their colonoscopies. How does it make you feel to know that you are an agent of positive change in other people's lives?
It is overwhelming to know that so many people have chose to take their health seriously. Yes. I have friends from when I was in college in Chicago that, they're reaching out, because of you, I got a colonoscopy. Yes. And I'm like, what? It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. I just love, like, you pepper it in. I had a coworker of mine say that he's 1 year older than me, and he was like, "Dude," his exact words, "Dude, because of you, got it done." They found, I think, if I can remember correctly, like 4 or 5 polyps inside. So no, polyp is what grows into cancer, but you can get it cut out and you don't have to deal with what I'm going through. So he was able, imagine, and polyps take a long time to develop, but that is something. And I was like, "You got to be absolutely kidding me." They found 4, they cut them out. Bravo. And that was with me. Like, I do go in and I check in on the boutique, and I see my colleagues and my teammates. And this was one of the days that I popped into the back office, and everybody jumped up and gave me a big hug. And before I could get out a hello, he held me and he was like, "Dude, I went because of you." And that was the first real, like, bam. And my director, she messaged me. She was in France. She messaged me and she told me, what you have done, you've changed the way that our boutique looks at health.
Wow.
People are taking their, what her exact words are, people are taking their health more seriously now.
Yes.
Wow. You know, in a store with a team of when I was there, I think it was like 76 people. Like if I'm able to impact that many small wins, right? Like I tell my team every day, it's a small win, small win. It wins the race, but like, gosh, people are taking really, taking the wheel by the hand. Like you have to drive this, right? You have to drive it. Another colleague told me she had a bump on her head. Scratched it, it bled. And you know what? Normally, what do you do? You just flip your hair over it and you call it a day, right?
Right.
She went to the doctor and it was a surgery she had to have. And she had to have a basal cell removed. And speaking of basal cells for your skin cancer, I have now become very good friends with my general practice doctor. We talk every single day on a personal. We don't talk about health and anything like that. She does telehealth with me so she can check in on me and we can speak about things. She told me, Kyle, I have never seen in my career so many people in 1 month that I've had to refer out with basal cells all over their body. This is serious. Cancer is serious. Like it is happening. I'm in chemo, and I told you this privately also. 105 people on my first chemo. 105 people were getting chemo that day.
Wow.
The University of Miami is having to build a huge new facility because they can't house all of the cancer patients. The second time I got chemo, 55 people were getting chemo that day.
Wow.
When I went to get my chemo removed, because you have to have a nurse take it out of you, I was in like a kiosk, if you will, and there was this kid showed up. It was Sunday, so nobody was really there. And this kid shows up. And he looked super down. His skin was a gray color, and he had a hoodie. He had a hat over his head. And I looked at him, and I was like, "Are you all right, kid?" And he was like, when he shook his head, he was so sick he couldn't talk. And I'm going to put it out there that maybe 26 years old, maybe 24 to 26, very young. Some of his buddies showed up to sit with him, which was nice. You know. It's just happening way too quickly. And my oncologist told me that he is seeing cancer diagnosis as much as he's seen the flu diagnosis in the hospital.
Wow. Incredible.
That's powerful to say.
You're waking people up. You're waking people up. And by the way, you know, March is colon cancer month, and you being the official ambassador of creating awareness around colon cancer, to get your screenings, to also it's the facts are crazy. You know, colon cancer is the second deadliest cancer. 1 in 5 cancer patients are only 20 to 54 years old for colon cancer. We're getting younger and younger. So listen to Kyle's story. Book your colonoscopies today. And thank him for taking the time. He could easily be like, you know what, I'm going to go off the radar, do my chemo, pop back in, and just, you know, tell everyone I was on a little vacation. No, he is here showing you like live action, where I'm doing chemo on Tuesday, and it's on April 22nd is my last session. Like, I'm doing it now. So I just want to say thank you for showing us your vulnerable best, telling us how painful it is to go through the 8 hours of chemo, and that for afterwards, what you have to deal with. I mean, you're my hero. I think we can all, like, big round of applause, say, you know, you are our hero. You are the one saying, wake up. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until, you know, and when you're young and feeling good, you don't really see this. So you're like, no, take a good look. You don't want this to happen. You can get your colonoscopy. And if you're seeing the signs, don't walk, but run and demand a screening. Now, another thing, when people are a little bit passe about, oh, do this, do that, don't worry about it, what do you say? Do you feel like people should really take more control over their health and their wellness and their screenings, and just kind of demand the testing that they need? Tell us your take on that after going through what you've been going through now.
You know, that's the biggest takeaway, honestly, Jennifer, is because people are going to go to you trust your doctor, and your doctor says it's constipation, it's a hemorrhoid. use
Yeah.
this cream, take this liquid. You have to ask questions. You're not the only patient that they're seeing. You need to say,
Right.
listen, and look, you don't need to document everything. You don't need to write down every time you have a bowel movement, or, your urine is coming out a little orange color. Like, you don't have to do all of that. What you need to do is you need to look at your body, and your body is going to give you messages and signals.
Yes.
However, like you said, colon cancer is a very silent killer. If I wouldn't have had the colonoscopy, and I would have gotten my colon, let's say, okay, so I'm 45 now, maybe I would have done it around the summer months or something. I could have been in palliative care by then, because my whole liver would have been consumed. And would have had to have liver transplant and all of this bananas.
Wow. That's right.
It's coming for us. It's out there.
Yeah.
But if you do the preventative work, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a colonoscopy, you can get other scans. There's other scans available. I will mention one thing that I forgot to mention during this interview. I have, for the last 4 years, done the at-home colonoscopy test.
Okay.
And here I am with stage 4 colon cancer.
Wow.
So another thing that our insurance gets to charge a couple $1,000s for, to do an at-home stool sample, and you send it into LabCorp, and LabCorp sends the message to your doctor that everything's good.
Amazing.
And here I am. And
yes.
and I have some other stories to tell. Like, I actually have family members that are blood family members. Like, first cousins that are same age, and they're saying, oh, I talked to my general practice doctor and I don't need anything yet. I'm fine. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I have stage 4 colon cancer and I live a healthier life. And I'm not saying it's because of healthy or not healthy, or you smoke cigarettes, you don't smoke cigarettes. It's going to find you if it's there. And it's silent. It grows very rapidly. It can metastasize very rapidly. So the projection of colon cancer is the cell grows from a polyp into colon cancer. Then it moves straight into the liver, because the liver is the closest organ, and the next organ next to the colon. Then from the colon to the lungs. Then once you go into the lower lung, so it can go into different places. If it goes into your lower lungs, you're in big trouble, because it's hard to clean out. Any lung cancer, or it's still colon cancer because it's the strand, but any cancer in the lung, any disease in the lung is really traumatic. And then it quickly moves from the lungs to the brain. And I want to say this one story. I was, my fraternity that I was in college, 5 of my fraternity brothers have colon cancer. 2 are no longer on this planet. One survived colon cancer, but they didn't do the last, what's called a PET scan, and see that the colon cancer had moved from, because he had it in his colon, his liver, and his lungs. Now, this is somebody I don't know. It's a story I was told by another fraternity brother. We happen to be in the same fraternity, in the same university, so I feel okay speaking on it. But he unfortunately passed away very rapidly after they found the cells in his brain. And this is after someone that had gone through the chemo that I'm going through, that had rung the bell. So if you're like, oh, I'm finally done with this, screw it, I don't want to do another test, or guess what, my insurance said, no, fight your insurance. Find a secondary insurance. Go.
Fight your insurance.
You know what? I got some advice from a financial planner. We went to dinner and I said, I'm very nervous about how much this is going to cost me. And she said, Kyle, let them charge you. And you know what you can do? I go, what? And she's like, I'm not telling you this is the right or the wrong. And again, I'm not giving advice. This is my personal. She said, let them charge you and claim bankruptcy. She was like, don't ever not get a test because you're afraid of the price. Don't ever not get a medication because just do it and deal with it later.
What great financial advice. This is your health. You cannot put a price tag on your health, on your quality of living. And you are so young. You have so much life ahead of you. And I know in many, many, many years, we're going to look back at this moment and say, thank God we got this message out. Thank goodness we had this resilience, this strength. We made decisions to show up and fight cancer aggressively and to rally up our loved ones and say, yes, we're going to fight together. We're going to create awareness. We're going to just, fight for, the medical industry listening to us, where we're not just going to be pushed away with a cream or a pill and don't worry about it. No, we're going to worry about it. Because I just love that you're just showing your vulnerable best, saying, look, take a good look at what happens on my chemo journey. It's not pretty. It's not fun. It's painful. I'm so miserable that I'm biting back at my family members, and I'm just miserable, and it just hurts. And I'm just like, oh. And people, you don't need to go through what Kyle's going through. He is giving you a gift of seeing just a glimpse of his story. And I know that you are strong, healthy, and you're fighting, and you're going to come out just smelling like a rose, just kicking cancer's butt, ringing that bell on April 22nd. And with so many people fighting for you, Christy Fickle, Jennifer Collins is here, all of your loved ones. Now, if you had to give a certain message and wrapping this up, because I could do a whole nother hour with you on this podcast. If you could just wrap everything up, what would you want to say your closing points would be that people really understand what your point is? Like, what would you want to kind of close out with, your final closing remarks in this stage of your success journey in kicking cancer's butt?
So there's a lot I would like to say, but I will leave you with this. It's all going to be okay.
Yes.
I got so hung up and stressed out about my income and is it going to go away? What's going to happen?
Right.
When you find out that the doctor put you out of work, until I'm literally allowed to go back from my doctor January 23rd of 2025 is when they expect me to be fully functional to go back to work. When you have to drop that bomb at work, and especially in the company that I work for, yes, they're being very supportive. So look, that's what I'm saying. It's all going to be okay. I got that news. I got the cancer news. It's how you go through and you fight and you fight and you move forward. I don't care about anything else except for getting healthy. You have to push all that stuff away because we're raised to believe you have to have a job. You have to make sure your income's coming in. You have to provide for your family. It's scary. It's scary. It's so scary when I thought my income stops next month.
Yeah.
And it's not my company's fault. It's because I've exhausted all of my benefits. But it's okay. It's going to be okay. Because I can apply for other things. I'm totally okay with everything. And that's where you have to just say, I'm okay. You're going to get through this. I've got this. What could be scarier? You're losing money, or you don't know what's going on with your health, or I might lose my eyelashes. I don't know. I don't care because I'm going to get
right. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I just love that. What I hear with that message, Kyle, is that you have this unbreakable, undeniable, unwavering faith, and that is the true test, that you are going through this season, this chapter of your life, and this too shall pass, being a woman of faith. And I know that this too shall pass, and that you're going to be able to look back on this and say, you know what, I'm so glad that I kept fighting, and I'm here to help other people along the way. Oh my goodness, my heart is so full. I want to give you a big round of applause. Thank you for being such a fighter, fearless, full of faith, never giving up. And we're going to do this again after April 22nd. And we're going to have that victorious podcast where you've kicked cancer's butt and you're in remission and you have this story. And then we're going to get your book out. I see a best-selling book for you to go and speak on. Let's go. And that you're just going to continue to change lives. And this is part of your journey. So I just want to say thank you. And everyone that tuned in, you're just blowing up with all these hearts. Thank you so much. Sharing is caring. Please take this podcast, share it with everyone that you know on your newsletter, on your social media. And by the way, Kyle, where can we continue to follow and support you on your journey? Please share your Instagram handle or any way we can get in touch with you and connect with you.
Absolutely. My Instagram handle is Kyle_David79. You can find me there. I believe my Facebook is Kyle Kalina. And if you want to email me, it's KYLE2679@icloud.com. And I am open for any questions. No question is a dumb question. And I would
Yes.
like to finish by saying you have such an amazing energy that I have had chills almost the entire time we've been talking. And the fact that you're such, and for people that are watching that don't know who you are, and I'm going to brag on you, an 18-time bestseller author. You're everywhere. You have your billboard. Oh my God, your billboard in Vegas. I flipped out. I screamed in the bed. Your morning workouts. I might be at the hospital getting chemo it's 6:45 in the morning, but I see your morning workout and I'm loving the energy. And I told you that. I was like, your energy is getting me through this today. I love you. I think that you have such an amazing, first of all, you've helped so many people around the world. And I didn't know that getting to meet you, right? Like when I first met you, how would I know that you're somebody that, has been or done this? And then you sent me that amazing gift of all your books, and I'm opening up the books and I'm seeing amazing people write such great things about you. And then I have the honor to be able to sit in front of you and tell my story. This is big. This is big deal for me.
Wow.
And I want people to know just how amazing you are. And I believe at the beginning of the year, you set out on a new platform of wanting to change people's life in a different way. And if this is what is going to turn that corner for you, because you don't have to be an expert to talk about this, right? Yeah, we did a little homework, but you don't have to be. You are so genuinely positive, and your message is so well received by many. And I'm just so honored to be here with you today.
Wow. Wow. That was such a beautiful endorsement, and just being edified by you, a man of your caliber, what you've achieved in your life. That means so much. And that did not go to my head. It went to my heart. So I send that love back to you tenfold. And I just know, that God brought us together, because that was a divine intervention moment when we met at the Books and Books in Bal Harbour. And to know that
Getting
we're here
thrown in
now.
on top of you.
I know, it was like, wow. Oh my God. Thank you for those beautiful words. And I'm going to continue, because sometimes you're like, oh, should I stream live? Do people want to see this crazy lady in these shorts with these knee socks jumping up and down? But yes, we need that energy out there. We need to keep people positive and pumped up, and just rejoicing in this beautiful gift called life. So thank you so much, Kyle. All that love back to you tenfold. And again, please give my warmest regards to Eddie. He's an amazing soulmate. And congratulations on your move. Congratulations on your adoption. Your life is so full of so much love and celebration. And this is just going to be a little glimpse in the pan, a little flash in the pan. This too shall pass. And I'm just love that I can be your friend, your confidant, your soul sister, supporting you on this journey. And everyone that tuned in, thank you so much. Kyle, I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And guess what? The best is yet to come. All right.
Absolutely.
Keep kicking cancer's butt, and I will see you in the winner's circle. I love you.